Hey, it's Anderson. Welcome to the podcast. Rick Perry says he may not participate in future debates and is essentially blaming his plummeting poll numbers on the debate process, saying they're rigged for conflict. We're keeping him honest. Plus, once again, we had the Halloween haters who got our favorite couple kicked out of a pumpkin patch to the ridiculous. And by favorite, I mean, not really. Let's get started. We begin tonight keeping him honest with Rick Perry. He's considering opting out of future debates, he says, which is a choice that any candidate, of course, is free to make. But keeping him honest, the reason he's giving simply doesn't stand up to scrutiny. His campaign manager says they are, quote, examining the opportunities and opportunity cost, unquote, of each upcoming debate. Shortly before airtime, the campaign put out a statement backing away from the idea of ducking future debates. But last night on Fox, Governor Perry seemed to make it pretty clear, talking about why taking part in the debates so far was a mistake.
Well, I don't think anybody's ever run the perfect campaign, and actually these debates are set up for nothing more than to tear down the candidates. It's pretty hard to be able to sit and lay out your ideas and your concepts with a 1-minute response. So, you know, if there was a mistake made, it was probably ever doing one of the campaigns when all they're interested in is stirring it up between the candidates instead of really talking about the issues that are important
so
to the American people about how you're going to get us back to work.
Well, bottom line, he says the debates are rigged for conflict and against the candidates. But keeping them honest, the candidates themselves agreed on the rules for all the debates, including the recent one we held in Las Vegas. That's where most of Governor Perry's complaints break down. Remember, his first beef is that the debates are set up for, quote, nothing but conflict. Here's a question I asked that night, giving him an opportunity to respond to criticism of his health care record. Governor Perry, in the last debate, Governor Romney pointed out that Texas has one of the highest rates of uninsured children in the country, over 1 million kids. You did not get an opportunity to respond to that. What do you say how do you explain that?
Well, we've got one of the finest healthcare systems in the world in Texas. As a matter of fact, the Houston, Texas Medical Center, there's more doctors, nurses go to work there every morning than any place else in America. So the idea that you can't have access to healthcare, some of the finest healthcare in the world, but we have a 1,200-mile border with Mexico. And the fact is we have a huge number of illegals that are coming into this country. And they're coming into this country because the federal government has failed to secure that border. But they're coming here because there is a magnet. And the magnet is called jobs. And those people that hire illegals ought to be penalized.
Now, you can agree or disagree with what he said, but it's a perfectly clear, on-point, straightforward answer to a pretty simple, straightforward question. A question, I might add, we specifically designed to give him a chance to set the record straight, which he did, and not to start a fight. Yet in the very next sentence, it was Governor Perry who starts a fight with a sucker punch, a direct personal attack. We're going to roll back the tape just a bit so you can see how he makes such a sharp turn from his answer to an attack.
And those people that hire illegals ought to be penalized. Admit you lose all of your standing from my perspective because you hired illegals in your home and you knew about it for a year. And the idea that you stand here before us and talk about that you're strong on immigration is on its face the height of hypocrisy.
Governor Romney?
Rick, I don't think I've ever hired an illegal in my life. And so I'm afraid, I'm looking forward to finding your facts on that because that just doesn't.
I'll tell you what the facts are.
Rick, again.
You had them work.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
The newspaper.
So, objection one, that the debates are designed for nothing more than tearing down the candidates, that doesn't hold up. Governor Perry himself took that opportunity and others to tear down Mitt Romney with what was clearly a prepared attack on the governor. Mitt Romney did the same in return. 3 years ago, Hillary Clinton did the same to Barack Obama and vice versa. Some use a scalpel, some use a meat axe, but it's hard to imagine how to stop it, especially when candidates can pivot, as Governor Perry did, from the question you ask to the answer or the response they want to give. Governor Perry, the 14th Amendment allows anybody, a child of illegal immigrants who's born here, is automatically an American citizen. Should that change?
Well, let me address Herman's issue that
actually, I'd rather you ask the question, answer that question.
I understand that. You get to ask the questions, and I get to answer like I want to. But, and Herman talked about.
That's actually a response. That's not an answer. But go ahead.
Issue.
And he did, just as some of the other candidates steered the dialogue in the direction that suited them or pressed for more time or simply took more time. It wasn't the format which, again, they agreed to. It was their own behavior that truly shaped the debate and what they wanted to do in that debate. Governor Perry also complains that debates don't give candidates enough time to lay out their ideas. But I want to show you an example of how he used what seems like ample time in a Fox News debate last month. A lot of political observers point to moments like this to explain why Mr. Perry, or Governor Perry, might want to back away from debates, and maybe that's really behind his talk lately of backing away from the debates, and also why he's slumping in the polls.
I think Americans just don't know sometimes which Mitt Romney they're dealing with. Is it the Mitt Romney that was on the side of against the Second Amendment before he was for the Second Amendment? Was before he was before these social programs from the standpoint of he was for standing up for Roe versus Wade before he was against Roe versus Wade? He was for race to the top. He's for Obamacare, and now he's against it. I mean, we'll wait until tomorrow and
Oh, that debate was September 22nd. The next day we did some polling, and that was the last time Rick Perry was in the lead at 30%. The next poll by Fox showed him in second place. Nearly every poll after that showed him third at best. Again, after this story circulated all day, the Perry campaign came out with a response. Spokesman Ray Sullivan telling us, quote, there have been 8 debates so far. The governor has participated in 5 of them, but there are 18 debates scheduled between now and the end of January. Sullivan went on to say, and at some point the candidates have to spend time out with voters in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. So I simply questioned whether 18 was a realistic number. That's all. We haven't ruled anything out at all. Time now for the ridiculous, and Tanya, we got to do it. We got to do it. There's no other choice. We're adding once again the Halloween haters who got Courtney Stodden kicked out of a pumpkin patch. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing it again. We told you about this earlier in the week. Newlywed / reality show seekers / ambassadors of love, Courtney Stodden and Doug Hutchison, went to pick pumpkins, and some of the other customers didn't approve. Tonight, we are going to hear from Courtney and Doug, their perspective on the incident, so there's that to look forward to. But first, a little background from Monday's show. According to Radar Online, some parents who took their kids to said pumpkin patch just were not in the Halloween spirit, and for whatever reason, thought Courtney and Doug's PDA was just inappropriate. The Halloween Scrooges also reportedly took issue with the way Courtney was dressed. So after multiple complaints, she got thrown out. She had no other choice but to walk her festive stripper boots right out of there and show off her pumpkins on the side of the road. There are other photos, oh yes, but we can't put them on TV. Let's just say they show a little too much crack-o'-lantern. I'm not proud of that. So Courtney and Doug have spoken out about this on Dr. Drew Life Changers. Take a look.
We were indeed kicked out of the pumpkin patch.
Was she kicked out for the attire?
Kicked out for the attire.
Yeah, what did they say?
The women were, coming up to the manager and complaining.
Because of the kids?
Because of the kids, yeah.
Because of the kids. Yeah, I don't know if you picked up on this because it was super subtle, but I think perhaps Courtney is implying that the women wanted her gone for some reason other than the kids.
So a lot of the kids thought that she was like this pumpkin patch princess, and there was a handful of concerned moms who went to the owners and said, get her out. And so we were escorted.
And their cleavage was hanging out quite a bit.
She's such a kidder. She's 17. So smart. Those concerned moms. Mind your own cleavage. That's what I say. The kids were having a good time. The dads were too, according to Doug. Watch him explain as Dr. Drew and the audience try to keep a straight face.
We even overheard a dad say, oh, look, to his little girl, he said, oh, look, honey, they have a pumpkin patch girl this year.
The dad loved it.
So a lot of the kids thought that she...
You can see more with Courtney and Doug on Dr. Drew's Life Changers November 7th. Wait a minute. November 7th? That's more than a week away. I don't know if I can wait that long. I guess in the meantime, we're just going to have to make do with some of their older interviews, like this one from E! Online.
There was nothing illegal or immoral about it. It was just that we found ourselves falling for each other
and flying on the wings of love together.
You guys have both made mention a couple times about wanting to do this, biblically, morally. Talk to me about the issue of premarital sex.
Okay, I don't want to hear the answer to that question, first of all. I do, however, have a few questions of my own. Courtney, what makes you so enchanting? Why are you so beguiling yet so elusive? What is your Halloween costume going to be this year? Will it perhaps be, I don't know, something provocative? And most importantly, what the hell are you doing with your face? I have to know. All right, sorry. No choice. I got to see it. Can we please roll my favorite clip from GMA?
People are welcome to their opinions. That's what the world is about. If they need to feel this way, that's theirs to hold, not ours.
What is it? It's like a silent, desperate cry for help, is what that is. Courtney, you keep doing that thing you do with the lips and the weird things and the touching the lips and you just keep doing it, and we'll defend your right to do it every night on The Ridiculous. Thanks for watching the 360 podcast. Don't miss 360 weeknights, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern, every night on CNN. I'll see you then.